there's only 24 hours. I always tell people when I'm doing my coaching stuff, I just, hey, treat time like energy throughout the day and the time that you have like money. And every day you start the day with $100.
Right.
The goal is by the end of the day to be on the green.
Yeah.
And have some money left over.
Yeah.
So tomorrow you have a little extra.
Right.
And every day you want to go to bed with as close to $100 as possible, but still have an amazing day.
Right.
Like have a productive day, have an amazing day, feel good when you go to bed, today was dope.
Right.
Now it doesn't mean that you have to be with 100, because then you do nothing all day and experience no life and go to bed with $100 just because you want to see your bank account grow. You didn't experience what you needed to experience. You didn't choose to love. You didn't choose to be with the tribe. You didn't choose to experience life. You chose to just focus on, he said just to go to bed with $100, so tomorrow I can wake up with $200.
Right.
So you're just not living. So I tell people, everything you do in the day has to be intentional. From the moment you wake up, what's your first choice? What's your second? Each one costs energy dollars.
Right.
But if you first wake up and you look at your phone and it's some crazy ass video, fucking someone getting beheaded or something, or you look at an email and it sets you off and you go into fight or flight.
It goes $50.
It goes $50.
Yeah.
Scan the day.
Yeah. What's up with your leg rolled up?
I got bit by a spider last week.
Really? Where? Oh, dude. At your house?
No, we went to Farmstead. So it was a Friday. And, I thought it was just like a mosquito bite, because I have like 1,000 of them. So that night I was scratching the shit out of it. Saturday I was like, it's a big mosquito bite, So I look at it and it's like, it gets bigger. Because this one right here, I had a huge welt on my elbow as well.
So the spider, that was a spider bite too?
They were all mosquitoes. But that one had to have been a spider bite for how it spread and how it bite. Because these, I could put lavender on them and it doesn't burn. Yeah. So when it's a mosquito bite, you put lavender or coconut, it doesn't burn. The spider bite feels like your leg's gonna fall off.
No way.
The fuck out of it. So I did so by Monday, man, I was dying. Like my leg felt like because it started to spread. The redness started going up to my and my ankle was fat as shit.
What?
So that was Monday morning.
Dang.
It was super irritated and goopy. And it went from I had a few bites, so I had a few of these, but then it started to spread. So that was Monday morning. I was like, I gotta get to the office. So I woke up early, went to the office, and I lasered it. So this is 24 hours after I lasered it. So this is Tuesday, and this is Wednesday, and then this is today.
Still irritated?
Mm-mm. It's just you just scab now.
Yeah, just healing?
Yeah.
Damn.
So that's what the laser does, is it cauterizes everything, disinfects it. So it takes it to an antibacterial, it burns a lot, and it hurts. Because you have to cauterize it, and it's exposed cells, tissue. Yeah. And when they get exposed and you use the laser, it burns it.
I don't remember, is that a light laser or was it a
My class 4 medical laser. Yeah, it's frequency. It's a class 4, so it does utilize heat, but it's not that it's heating. It's not using heat. It's just that it heats up the water in your body. Yeah. But it burns it.
How does it kills or disinfects or whatever?
It'll kill anything that's in there. So it's the venom will just it'll kind of burns it off. Like if you're gonna drink shitty water, you use heat to
boil everything.
Boil it to kill everything, and makes it palatable and less likely to get infected, right? Yeah. So that's what I did. So, you can tell by Wednesday, Tuesday, you can see the redness was still there, but the skin started to peel. Mm-hmm. So once the skin starts to peel, that means you're good. You're okay. Really? Your body just sheds like a snake. Yeah. But it had to burn it because everything around here was red, right? Really sensitive. And it was itching, man, a ton. And here as soon as you laser it, the itching stops, the burning stops. But if if the skin is obviously still healing, if you touch it, it irritates it. Mm. So I came home Tuesday night and I smacked it on something, so I was up all night because it was burning. But there's nothing I could put on it at home. There's a foam that I use to help with the burn, but if I put that foam on there, the burning stops, but then it gets wet. And I was trying to keep it dry. So when I woke up Wednesday, like this to me looks really good from a start, because it starts really scabbing. And so today it's like, it looks fantastic. Oh, yeah. And I showered today, and I was able to shower without it like irritating. So Tuesday, if I would shower, it'd still irritate, you know. But this looks really good, like especially this right here. The redness has stopped. Like I could touch around it, and I could touch it now, and it doesn't hurt. So now it's just on its way out. But it was crazy, man. It was.
Yeah. Oh, have they had an outbreak of spider bites that you've heard of at all?
No, it was just you know the like they do the corn.
Yeah.
Are they like
corn maze?
No, the corn. Yeah, the corn maze. They usually have like corn pools.
Yeah.
You seen those?
Yeah. We went there last year.
Yeah, so we go there every week because it's so much there for the kids today, so we just let them run around.
Yeah.
But we went into the kid thing, and I remember I pulled my pants up to get in the corn with them, and then I felt something bite me, but I thought it was just like a corn thing poking me.
Oh, you felt a bite?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So it was in the corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had to have been. I mean, where else would it kind of?
Yeah.
Because my pants were down there all the time. And these pants are fairly baggy. Like it's very rare for a mosquito to like be able to bite through these. Like everything else was exposed, but my legs weren't. Only when I went into the corn, and I was like, just mosquito. I'll get home and put some lavender on it. If you put lavender on it, the mosquitoes don't. It doesn't do anything. Yeah. But it just kept getting worse and worse.
Dang.
It's killing me.
I wonder what spider bite means in the dream, dude.
I don't know. I had a weird dream last night.
Let me grab this.
Last night I had this dream that I was coming to do this with you, and I've never done a podcast before, so I come over and I'm dreaming. This is like at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm here, we're just doing this, and the first thing you tell me is like, you're kind of, you're dressed like you're dressed right now, and you just have to look like a really relaxed look.
Yeah.
And then you hand me a glass of something.
Yeah.
He's like, here you go, man. Let's go and drink this. We'll get started. And I was like, well, what is this? He's like, it's DMT.
Oh, what?
And I was like, I don't know, bro. Like, I haven't never done that before. I was like, well, just a little bit. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I was like, it'll be safe. It's fine. No big deal. I drink it, and I'm like, you're talking, you're asking questions, but I'm just like, whoa, I'm like in a weird space. And then I was falling asleep in the dream, but then I woke up
in real life,
but I thought I was still dreaming.
Yeah. And
then I kept flipping in and out, and then by the third time it happened, inception type layers.
Yeah.
There's one where by the third level you didn't look like this anymore. You were shorter, like kind of like Danny DeVito.
Really?
And you were bald headed.
Oh, what the fuck?
You should have lost all your hair, and I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
You feel bad?
You're not coming back in Danny DeVito look.
Oh,
you're coming back
in another dimension. I like fucking Danny DeVito, dude. That's awesome.
That's why. And I was like, fuck. I was like, you better not have no DMT on that show, because I don't think I need to function this.
Yeah, that should be weird.
If Ash goes into labor and I'll be here, tripping balls.
Is she due any time?
Yeah, this next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, between now and due days on Sunday, next Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, due days next Sunday. On Monday. And our kid's always been like on the day that they expected to be born.
Oh, really? Are you guys having a home birth?
Yeah.
Nice.
A water birth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the pool. So after this, I'm going back home and moving the washer out of the way to see if the hoses fit. Otherwise, I have to go get something that helps it attach or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you're putting the fucking tub in there?
No, so we ran a 50-foot hose. We ran it from the washroom, the hot water.
Yeah.
And we're gonna run it. She wants to have the baby in the living room, so where where the bar is.
Yeah.
Like next to that. So
nice.
we're gonna she made like a little. She's making a welcome altar.
Yeah. Wow.
And so
That's
she
some real
has
hippie shit.
super hippie
I'm
shit.
into it.
Yeah. So she has all this stuff and like, whatever it is that she had a really interesting experience when she decided to have Ula. So like this whole pregnancy has been really different from the last two. So she has like all these things like she's collecting from this whole pregnancy.
Yeah.
And then she's bringing like a little special candles that she makes everything herself, kind of like which
yeah, totally,
stuff,
man.
but the good kind.
Fucking brujas and shit.
Yeah, the well intended kind. Right?
Yeah.
And so
what if they're not even her thoughts? What if they're the baby telling her to get ready and shit?
Right. So that's where she's at now. So yesterday I went to the grocery store and I'm like, hey, we don't really need. We bought a cow. Like we have enough food I'll last us for the winter. And we just get like other little things here and there. But yesterday I was like, I just had this intuition, like I have to go to, it's like, do we need anything? She's like, no, we're fine. I was like, no, go check the fridge. She's like, no, we're okay. And I was like, all right, well, I went anyways. And I started buying like a shit ton of fruit. I bought pears, blueberries, blackberries, make sure we have enough butter, enough dates, and just, as much fructose as possible. So we're not, come, just because she could come any day this week, right? She can come whenever. And I call her, I was like, hey, I got all this stuff. You just start packing out some fructose. You got to make sure you're like really well energized because I don't know if you were there know, but going in labor utilizes.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine how much energy.
The amount of energy you need to give birth is. It's immeasurable.
Holy shit.
It's immeasurable. So I bought a bunch of fructose and stuff that you can quickly, like honey sticks and we always use local raw honey so that the body builds immunity to kind of shit. And I bought a bunch of fruit. We got meat, we got fruit. We do raw milk. Make sure she gets enough fats. And I told her just go do what you gotta do today, and then we'll make sure everything's ready. As soon as her mucus plugs comes out, then I'll get the pool ready.
Wow.
So that's what the hose is for.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's awesome. Man, you better not have no DMT, man. I gotta function.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. Just make sure, be mindful of the mic. Keep it close.
Keep it close. So put the chair closer.
Move. Dude, you do whatever you want to do, man. We just talked. We already started. Shit's already recording.
Yeah, that's fine. It's gonna be like Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Smoke cigarettes and.
Oh, dude, I wish.
This is fancy.
Got some Kangen water for you right there.
Yeah, I saw you got your SD 501.
Dude, I had no idea. It's a fucking water machine, bro.
I know.
Oh, you got the fucking SD 201. I don't fucking know, dude. It spits out water.
Yeah, I know all about it. I know all about water.
Is it good?
It depends on who you talk to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's all a fucking psyop, bro.
Yeah, you're drinking it right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just hydrogen water.
Yeah, it's just electrolyzed water, right?
Yeah, so this water is pretty interesting because, you can light up a light bulb with it.
Oh, really? It has that much energy in it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why people love... Well, there's two parts to the Kangen thing, right? It's... like, you're going to get people who... It's like doTERRA, right? It's an MLM program.
It's like anything. People become obsessed and fanatical about it.
No, because they take it and they're like... Oh, it saved me from, whatever
symptoms
I had
AIDS,
I had AIDS and now I don't have AIDS.
Right.
Because of Kangen
water. Right.
Sure. And so then they spread that and then someone else who has AIDS, like, oh my God, I heard this story of this guy had AIDS, drank Kangen water and they don't have it anymore. You're like, holy shit. And then that spreads. And then it turns out, that's not the case. But with the water is just, it depends on who you talk to.
Yeah.
So if you're the MLM guy, you're the one selling it because you get a, the veterans, they get a pretty good paycheck. Like these people are making, 20,000 plus 40, 50,000 a month just because of the pyramid,
their downlines, the
pyramid,
and all that. Yeah.
And so it's great. Like I don't ever. Like,
I think that's a great business
every
model.
scroll needs to get their net. Like I'm all about it. Like go get money however you want to. doTERRA, I love doTERRA. Go do that shit. I know my friends make a killing with that.
I know people that make killing in all of them.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you put the hustler with the hustle, and they're gonna make it happen. Yeah. You're a good salesman. Is some of it great? Yeah, essential oils are fantastic. In some cases, will it cure everything, man? I don't know. There's no. I'm a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to look at it from two different perspectives. One's what we were trained in and how to understand certain things.
Yeah.
And then me, who I am, and I like to question everything.
Totally.
And test it. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't, who cares?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just didn't work for me.
Right.
So with Kangen water, talk to the guy who sells it. He's all about it. He's like, yeah, it's gonna fucking change your life, and then you're gonna be able to sell it. So as soon as you buy your machine, now you become a distributor.
Yeah. So
you buy your first machine, it's $5,000. Yeah, hey doc, hey man, you should get one. Sweet, I'll buy it from you, because then I know you'll make it. It's like $100-$200 per machine, and then that number gets higher and higher the more people you.
Right.
Yeah. So you talk to those people, it's fantastic. You talk to other people, as far as how it filters. If your water is already fairly filtered, you're gonna be okay. But if you take the ST501, it's got one chamber. Their K8 is their fanciest line. It's the Ferrari of Kangen machines. That one has 2 chambers. And, those chambers, one of them is, in order to get the water to get like really, on there, it's got a cleaning setting. Like you drink that shit, you're going to get sick, right? Like you shouldn't be drinking that. But that setting is like, that stuff will, people on claims like it'll kill rust, right? It's so strong.
Really?
You can clean your entire house.
So alkaline?
Not the alkaline part.
Acidic.
It's the acidic part. If you need to clean your toilets. Your toilets are stained.
Oh, yeah.
Like these houses here.
Like vinegar. People are big into using vinegar.
That doesn't work all the time. Right? That one has a fantastic cleaning option because you have to buy the chambers for them. And typically those are, it's a compound mix of bleach. But then mixed in with the electrolysis process, it makes it super potent, apparently.
Interesting.
Which is why I didn't end up getting one, even though it's still good water. I've had it. It's all right. It tastes good. I think my water tastes better, but that's just me.
What's the difference?
Mine's just not a Kangen. Mine's alkaline water. I don't drink it all the time, but we have it, right? I do both purified and alkaline water.
Isn't that supposed to be alkaline?
Yes, this is. Well, it can be. Like you have different settings. You have you could do
9.
neutral. 9.5 is ideal, and then 7.0 is neutral, and 7.2.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone's like, "Oh, alkaline water is going to save you. It's going to do." I was like, "Bro, if your blood pH was at 9.5, you'd fucking die.
Yeah,
you're gonna die. You're not gonna make it.
1 point.
1 point over your neutral.
Yeah,
like you're gonna not.
That's what
make
people
it.
don't understand.
They don't understand.
Dude, your body doesn't fluctuate.
No.
If it fucking 1 degree, you're dead. Like you said, you're dead.
Fucking done.
Yeah.
That's why Elon Musk always talks about like, they always ask about space. Go to space, and how far do you think we are from going to space? It's like, well, it's a problem. Colonizing Mars is kind of hard because we need minerals. Like if you go up there, you're on space, you're getting people, and we run out of calcium, we're fucked.
Yeah, 100%.
Just calcium, nothing else.
The climate has to be perfect, just like it is here.
Super ideal.
Yeah, so which is not. It's obviously not.
No. So with water, that's why the cult Kangen or the cult people with water, it's like, listen, it's really good for you. It's a really good way to help with other things in your health. But as far as changing your pH, it's not doing that shit. You'll die.
Yeah, I mean, I need something better than that fridge water.
Our fridge water here sucks. Have you checked our EW standards here? Have you ever seen that?
Of course not. I don't even know what the hell that is.
Well, if you go to everybody, wherever you're at, zoned. Everything has a zone. And with water, they test that water for particulates.
Of course. Yeah.
And they'll tell you, oh, look, there's X amount of factors in your water that are not good for you.
Parts per million or whatever?
It's parts per million, sometimes parts per billion, depending on how they decide to measure.
So Flint is just dog shit. Light that shit on fire.
Yeah, you can look it up. You could just type in Flint's water and they'll tell you like how much they have. So people always talk about Flint being really bad.
Yeah.
It just has the stigma of it having really bad water, and it's awful there. But it's like that everywhere. I mean, the water's bad all over the place. Boise is one of them.
Bad?
Boise has some shitty ass water.
Really?
Awful.
Whoa.
Think about the pipes they put in here. How old they are.
Yeah.
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 So my last place before we moved
The
here,
rust, God knows the buildup in those water lines.
the last place we lived at before we moved into these places here. We went. My son was maybe 2 years older. It even happened when I had my daughter. But the last time it happened, I went to go take my son a bath, and the water came out like a little murky. But our tub is also like a weird off-white, like a weird white color.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really tell. I was like, we still give him a bath. And then we, the next day or later that day, I turned the water back on, and it comes out. It looks like diarrhea, like brown ass water.
Really?
I still have the videos.
Whoa.
And we were in an apartment complex here in town.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is fucking gross. So I went to the office not to complain, just to, hey guys, your water is like fucked up.
Something's
wrong.
Up.
Yeah. Like our drinking water, the water we wash our clothes with, the water we bathe in. Like I have shower filters, they help a little bit.
Yeah.
They help dechlorinize a little bit. But this was my son taking a bath, so I don't have a filter down there.
Right.
Turn the water on, it looks like diarrhea water.
Dang.
I'm like, fuck. So I go to complain like, that they didn't know how to describe like what was happening to me, because they're like, they don't want me to like maybe do a lawsuit or do something, right? Everyone told me something different. I was like, listen guys, this isn't my first time here. I've lived here before.
Yeah.
This happened before. And I was in a complete different building, different apartment. You guys' water is trash. It's like, it's because they're doing the following and they have to do this. And now I'm like,
no way.
You guys never sent us a notice.
Yeah.
Some people in this building are drinking this shit.
Yeah.
And they're going to get sick.
Wow.
I was like, I'm just telling you, like, I'm not trying to sue you. I'm just letting you know this water sucks.
Yes.
And like, well, we'll see what can happen. We went, my wife was just like, I need a bath. I want to take a bath at the time. She had just had Kai. So, she's tired. She wants to take a bath. She couldn't. We had to go and stay in a hotel for 4 days because our water was shit.
And what's the solution?
There was no solution. The solution was just to go stay in a hotel. And I told him, I was like, listen, it's 3 days. You guys are fucked up. This is costing me money. So either you guys pay for my hotel room now, I'll see you in court, or fix my water. I don't really care. I just want to live my life. I got other things to worry about.
Yeah.
But we live in the United States. You'd think we would have access to clean water.
Yeah.
And we don't here. So our water here is trash.
Wow. You
go talk to people who own business here in town who deal with water. There's a guy, I forget his name. He's in Meridian. He was the first one who exposed me to how bad the water was here, because he mentioned Flint. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm familiar with the stories. Like, I'm not an expert, but they're like, oh, yeah.
Sure.
Flint has shitty water. He's like, yeah, it's just as bad here. I'm like, what? Okay. Well, and then he showed me. He had samples, and he took samples from different parts of Meridian, Eagle, Boise, like all over the place. And he's like, oh, if you live here, this is what's in your water. And the amount of metallics in there is like, it's crazy.
Whoa.
And just one tiny sample.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, fuck that. We need to make sure we have, I want my kids to have good water, because we have them drink water all day long.
Yeah.
And our water here is trash.
Dang.
The newer
it's trash for everyone.
Yeah.
So everyone's drinking
shit.
Yeah.
The newer places, they have cleaner water, right? But we even had our water tested here last year when we got our soft water machine.
It's shit.
And the water was shit.
Whoa.
So even with like better pipes, the source of the water is still trash.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about just the pipes. It's the source, and then the city has to pump in
the reservoirs, the aquifers, like all.
And then
those
they have to go back and contaminate it and put fluoride in your water. They put chlorine in your water. They
try to kill and disinfect.
And I get that shit. You imagine owning, like, being the city, right? And you have funding. You don't want everyone dying from water.
And you have liability.
Now you're liable.
Right.
So they're like, fuck it, we're just gonna just.
That's a good point. So that actually leads me to, you know what? Because you've obviously heard about, they're putting fluoride in the water to like brainwash you or something like that. I would venture to say they're used, because that's the only thing they know what to use to try to kill things and stuff like that.
It's just accountability. They're just like,
exactly. I don't find that the older I get and the more, because I used to be big into like the conspiracy, like fucking.
I love conspiracy theories.
But the more I kind of look at them, the more I see that like they're not that smart. And they're not that like diabolical,
Go talk to these people that work there.
Yeah, they're just regular people. But I'm saying even the higher ups, the ones that decided to put the fluoride in the water or decided to put the chlorine in the water, they did it because those were the only tools they knew of.
That's all they have right now.
Right, exactly.
So, like right now, if you go to a public pool, when was the last time you went to a public pool?
Over the summer, Roaring Springs.
All right, it's a cesspool.
Oh my God, yeah, dude, it's so disgusting.
There's so
poop
much
in the water.
There's poop in there. There's semen, urine, blood.
Oh yeah.
All of it.
Oh yeah, I got cut in there.
Yeah, and guys, listen. If we're talking about pipes, right? Your ureter.
Yeah.
It lets out blood, urine, water, and semen.
Yeah.
If a guy goes and has sex, busts a nut, and decides to go swimming right after, what happens after you have sex? You're still spewing out, discharging.
Yeah,
it's in the water.
Yeah.
So you're in there gargling your water, swimming, having a grand
Lord.
day. You got someone's nut juice just all up in your nose.
But they're just pouring the chlorine in it.
And so they have to let's just douse it because who knows? Someone's gonna come say I got pregnant from the pool. That can't happen. I'm just saying people are crazy and do some stupid shit. They're just coming from a place of liability. If you go to a pool, it smells crazy in there. Like I'm really sensitive to chlorine. Not because I'm like conspiracy theorist for that. I'm just like, no,
I get it.
Like my skin gets irritated.
Right.
Like I went swimming with this mosquito bite that I thought I had, right? That I showed you. I swam all weekend at the Y because the other place I went to. Oh, the
Y just smells like you're in a bottle of bleach.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it irritated my leg, and I was like, well, that's probably the other reason why I got expanded. Like my venom went from one place and it all over the place. But I was going because my leg was burning so much that the water is really cold at the Y. So when you go to a lap pool, they have that water in the 70s. The other pool for the kids is not as cold. Yeah. And that's not a lap pool. So that's why I went there. But yeah, dude, it smells crazy in there. And the Y is disgusting here, right? The way they don't clean the facilities well. And they do it. Someone just comes in, douses it with bleach. Yeah. Chlorine. Yeah. Again, it had its place when they started using it. When they discovered how to use bleach and chlorine and how to do that. I'm like, God, look, it killed all these bacteria. And then they just taken it overboard. Yeah. And now, people get sick from it. But you still get dentists and other people like, oh, fluoride's fine for you. Yes, in small doses, you're going to be just fine. But it's in your water, it's in your toothpaste, it's at your dentist office. It's all over the place.
It's almost like potassium, though. Too much potassium kill you.
Yeah, too much of anything will kill you. Yeah. Again, like you said earlier, we started with this. You're like, if you want to go to Mars, you have to have a balance and harmony of it all. Right. You can't have too much of one thing. Anything out of balance for the human organism. The human organism is so sensitive. Right. But it's so smart. It can recalibrate and sense those sensitivities and changes as an environment and make changes. But we have something called the educated brain, right? It's right in front, right here at the frontal lobe. And that's how people make, that's when they're like, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist if you believe that. Okay, bro. Yeah. Good luck.
Hey, what do you think about, have you been seeing all these animals and shit out of the water? Like all those caimans and alligators and all of these, have you seen anything about that?
Yes. Friends, I was just in Florida, right? Gators all over the fucking place there. I never studied amphibians as much as I did like orcas and turtles. Those things I was super infatuated with. Who knows what's going on out in the waters? Like we have people, we have no clue. I have buddies who work with certain organizations that I probably can't name, right? But it's crazy shit. Like there's so much stuff that they can't possibly tell us. Like they just
because it would freak people out or what?
Well, look what happened with COVID.
It's still think about the shit going on in China.
It's still going on. Still. Like the CDC what's today? Thursday. Today's Thursday.
Friday.
Fuck. I never know what day it is. So today's Friday. On Wednesday, the CDC put out they didn't make it public, but they sent it to like hospitals and medical facilities like, hey, you guys don't have to wear masks anymore. Like masks are useless now. Like they
just flip-flopping all
the time. They
just
admitted like, hey guys, on Monday they admitted like, okay, everyone who's vaccinated, it doesn't matter now. Like we have enough data to understand. Like this is coming from the CDC. Like look, just go to the website and be like, it's right in front. Like, okay, you don't have to do this anymore. We're done with this. We're done with that. And the last thing they did was on Wednesday, they said, okay, hey guys, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. like I got the email too. I'm like, I don't even wear a mask. But for hospitals, I have patients who work in hospitals. They're like, oh yeah, I didn't have to wear a mask. It was awesome. He's like, a story came out this week. Like, yeah, but one of my colleagues, he's a surgeon here in town, neurosurgeon, orthosurgeon. He got written up by the administration for not wearing a mask.
Even after the CDC?
Yeah.
So the CDC, I mean, it doesn't matter if your own policies at the place you work at, if they
well,
haven't changed.
He just said, hey, well, you know, did you guys see the CDC says we don't have to wear masks anymore? And they're like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. They said we don't follow the CDC's guidelines, is what they told him. And I was like,
but they don't have to.
But they did for the last 2 years. Everything the CDC, everybody was watching. What is the CDC saying?
Of course. So then when they don't agree with their policies,
yes.
So yeah.
Now we're here.
But I mean, that also goes to show like what is truth, what is factual. Like, look, it's all a crock of shit. Mm-hmm. It's all a crock of shit, man.
Yeah, we can't, again, I always go back to what we did with water. It's about the accountability.
Of course, yeah.
Like,
that's interesting though about the accountability when they're just like shooting people up with God knows what, you know?
Yeah, we don't know. We have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you
think that there's going to be some liability there? Because I have no long-term studies, no long-term data on the effects of that
and even if they did, like, they're going to cherry pick. Again, this isn't a new thing. So like COVID opened up the eyes for the public to understand how like the science community is functioning. I've been in the science community for 20 years now. It's always been like that. It's just no one cared about it, right? People started caring more about like the nerdy things with science and like the goofy things like comic book nerds. And when the Big Bang Theory came out, that became like mainstream. Like, oh, look, nerds can be cool too. Like us PhDs and nerdy people can be cool too.
Yeah, and there was like a dating show.
There's a dating show, yep.
Yeah, where the nerds got chicks.
Yep, they get chicks. You can have a brain and get chicks too.
Yeah.
It's always been like that. So for me, when I'm going through this whole COVID thing with, you know, in my clinic, I'm like, yeah, I was trying to just help patients navigate through the chaos. Like, listen, just give it 2 years, relax, just do your thing. They're going to do all this crazy shit. Just relax. Just try to keep your sanity. And I said by 2022, when the primaries come around, things will calm down. That was my initial like prediction. I said 18 to 24 months. And it wasn't because I was trying to be some crazy conspiracy. I was like, no, it's just when you're studying a virus, you have to let it play out, especially a virus you don't know anything about.
Right.
Right. Or how we know about coronaviruses, but we didn't know how it affected people. So, okay, let's let it play out for 2 years. Yeah, and it usually takes about 2 years. Like it took, in undergrad, I was a part of this research study when it came to, this was about the shape of the penis and why is it shaped the way it is. Right? So when you look at a shaft, at the end of the shaft, there's a crown, and you know, it has a lot of different names, crowns, German helmets, name it whatever you want to call it, right? I always looked like a bob cut, old school 80s cut. Oh
my gosh, yeah. So
you know,
someone looks like they have a dick on.
Yeah,
dick
look like a
head,
dick.
dude.
You got 2 dick heads.
Yeah, man, the bowl haircut.
The bowl haircut.
Yeah, the mushroom or whatever.
The mushroom tip,
sure.
whatever you want to call it.
You just look like
just walking around, bumping into people, being rude. So the study that I was an intern, but I was a part of the study. I had to do all the dumb, analysis stuff. But they were trying to figure out, why is it shaped that way? Why is it shaped? What is that going to do for anybody?
What does it matter?
What does it matter? Everyone's dick is shaped pretty much the same way, outside of like some are gross looking and whatever. But like as far as the anatomy of the penis and the physiology, it's all the same.
Yeah.
But they were trying to come down to like, what are the theories? Like, what would you think one of them would be? Like, just top of your head. What makes you like? What do you think? Why do you think
to penetrate?
Yeah. What else? What's another one?
I have no idea. That's the only thing I would think that thing is there for.
Yeah. So they were trying to figure out like, okay, why is it shaped this way?
That sounds like a total waste of time and money.
Exactly. But I was like, at the time I was into like studying the neurology, like the social aspect of sex. I was doing women's studies, sex classes, all this crazy shit. I was all over the place. Guess this is with a theory. This is a theory that came out. This is what they came out with. So this was a conclusion.
Yeah.
It took 2 years. And I said, okay, well, if you take the vagina, the cavity of the vagina, and you were to open it up, like those sex toys, you can pop them out and you can get different ridges and things and feel sensations like dick toys. Well, if you were to do that with a vagina, for the most part, all women it's like a fingerprint. They're all unique.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're getting the function and the physiology is pretty much the same across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So the penis, they said, was shaped the way it was to work like a shovel and to deal with the biology of competition and replication of the organism, which is the whole purpose of a human.
Yeah.
So if you have a cavity, you have a shovel, you have sex with somebody, you bust your nut, the next day, you're not married or whatever, even if you are, the next day she decides to go and sleep with me. Well, your sperm is still in there. It's in the ridges. It gets caught.
Totally.
So my job is to go in there and scoop out as much of it as possible and then insert mine. And then she can do the same thing a few days later.
Whoa.
Spew it and then shovel it out.
That's why the head has
why the head has a weird rounded
hook
bob
to pull
That's
out
a hook.
any...
It's competition. And then you got 4 or 5 guys that busted their nut, and then 9 months later there's a baby. Whose baby is it? Whoever had the best shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's wild. That makes sense, though, actually.
It does make sense. Absolutely. It makes...
Especially, like, because I'm sure that, sexual practices have changed a lot over the last few thousand years.
But again, but under the foundation of that has always stayed the same, right? It's to replicate.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't care how you want to use your dick and how you want to have sex.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. In the end, that connection, those two organisms come together. Yes.
In the first place.
Well, that organism comes together to replicate.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we have all kinds of other shit. People don't want to have babies, whatever. But deep down, the biological necessity, the innate intelligence or being is to replicate like a virus. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah, 100%.
So like
we are the virus.
We are a virus.
Yeah, 100%.
And we spread and crazy. It's when they were ready to publish their findings about the penis and the whole thing. I was in this massive course, and we had to present it to the students. And so when we presented that, there's an outrage. Like, who cares? Who cares?
An outrage by who?
Half the class would be like, that's bullshit, that's stupid, like, that's dumb, whatever.
Oh, really?
And for me, I was like, okay, that can make sense, right? They didn't like it because it kind of had an underlying tone of being promiscuous. That's why they didn't like it. Like, I wouldn't go have sex and like the next day go have sex with some other guy. Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, no, you wouldn't, but she would. I know half the girls in here I've slept with would all do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How many women out there have? I mean, I can't tell you how many double headers I've pulled. So yeah, exactly. Women are the same. We're all just the two fundamental, programs in each cell: survive and replicate. That's all they're thinking about. Hey, how do I make it through today? And then how do we keep this game going?
Yep.
So everybody wants to fuck.
Yeah.
If anything, it's cultural programming that's taught
it happens in all of the animal kingdom, minus, again, we don't know everything about the animal kingdom, but for what we do understand, what we know, a lot of mammals do that. Even other amphibians and reptiles. Anacondas do that. Snakes do that. The female will come. She's got like 100 dudes just wrapping around her, coiling, all trying to get their seed in there.
Yeah, just an orgy.
Just super snake orgy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
She doesn't care.
That's her only job.
Her job is to have more babies.
Yeah.
But if we were in a snake world, she'd be like, she's a liberal or whatever.
Right.
The whole thing. She's like,
yep.
It would be a whole crazy snake story.
Well, then that also even goes to like now with women like being selective breeding, for the best chance of offspring. And
no, there's
like
no
that.
There's no guarantees. Like when I first learned, I was doing medical ethics. So I was waiting to, get accepted to medical school before I decided to go down the path that I took. And in medical ethics, it was kind of heartbreaking. That's when I decided, I was like, listen, I don't want to be a medical doctor anymore. This is way too, like, it doesn't align with me. Like, it's something about it's telling me not, like, my gut instinct is telling me to not do this. Yeah, the MCATs, everything was hard. I had passed the test ones, but I was like, I wouldn't want to pay to take the other ones. I was just like, I'm not ready. Something's telling me to hold off. So I took biomedical ethics, and I did a full year. And a part of that biomedical ethics, we had to do all kinds of shit. For me, I knew people in the hospitals. So they allowed me to come into the hospitals, and I was allowed to sit on the ethics boards, like when there was an actual lawsuit going on. So I got to sit, I just had to sit and be a fly on the wall. Like, I can't say shit. And it was just ugly. It was super ugly in there. As soon as there's money involved, or this whole thing, accountability, everything changes in there. That's why hospitals have to function the way they do.
Right.
Again, it all comes back to accountability.
Right.
So when I'm studying this biomedical ethic things, I'm also doing animals, and because I ended up becoming a biologist for a little bit. And I got super into studying orcas and turtles and shit like that. But again, back to the sex thing, orcas, they do the same thing.
Wow.
They're just, we just learned something super cool about turtles. So I've always learned, because it's only what I learned at the time. Sea turtles go have their babies and they take off, leave their babies, bounce.
Good luck.
Good luck. Don't know. Their whole purpose is just to do their job and breed and move on.
Yeah.
Orcas, dolphins we now know are very promiscuous, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same thing. The
Yeah.
whole purpose is
fucking people.
Yes.
There's
a lot of videos.
They're horn dogs.
They're super horn dogs.
Yeah.
It's just their instinct.
Yeah.
And they know that and it usually only happens to females. If you ever see the videos.
Yeah.
So clearly they know that this other...
It's got to be putting off pheromones or some sort of
they
energy.
know that there's a uterus in there.
Yeah. Let me get that.
Let me get there.
Let me see if I can put my seed in that.
The purpose of this whole thing, and why the dick-shaped thing, and why, and again, this will lead to the biomedical things a little bit later. It's just about replicating.
Yeah.
The more we replicate, the better for the species.
Yeah.
But then you have to worry about resources.
Of course.
And then you have to worry now because it's
such a balancing act.
It's crazy.
Why do you think that humans, when we're talking about mammals, whereas like in the animal kingdom, they run primarily off of instinct, and I would say humans do a lot for the most part too, but also we have all these fucking ego games why do you think that the human animal is so much different than the animal,
There's actually not a lot of differences, I don't think. I mean, there's some separations. It's fine line, right? Like if you study genetics, so you can see that we're slightly different. Like we just have a few genes different from a fly, right? We're talking just a few. From a chimpanzee, from a dog, like the DNA sequences that make us completely different. But if you look the grand scheme of the DNA strand, it's more similar than it is not, right? For some of them, not all of them. So we're not that different. Like, just go back to COVID. How are people behaving?
Oh yeah, like irrational animals.
Crazy animals. Like they were going based on like that limbic part of their brain, the emotional center of the brain. Just straight instinct with like fear. I've seen, people sharing stories and videos of some random person just going to some random person and punching the shit out of them. Like an old lady.
Oh yeah, man. To get the food or whatever.
Get the food.
Yeah.
Because they were in survival mode.
Right.
When you put a species in a state of survival and it's fight or flight, there's never a lot of rationale behind it.
No, it shuts off.
It shuts off. It's just instinct.
Yeah.
So we're not that different from animals. I mean, go watch any shows that we know of, even though those can be skewed as well because it's Disney, right? Yeah. Disney's crazy. We're not that different.
But that's the physical body. Now that I'm just thinking about the physical, like there's a part of us, our consciousness, that's more evolved than
but that part of consciousness gets shut down as soon as that frontal lobe gets shut down.
Right. We revert right back to the animal, the lizard brain.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
It's almost instant. Like it's simple. Like you can just even requesting somebody to do a basic motor act, like raise your right arm, for example. Go ahead. Good. Did you know you raised your right arm, right? You know that.
Yeah, but I didn't have to like forcefully tell myself.
Yep, it's just
autonomic. Isn't that fucking weird?
I had a patient yesterday. I said, hey, raise your right arm. Guess what he did?
What?
He didn't do shit. He didn't raise his right arm. Because to him, his right arm doesn't exist. He can use it. He uses it all the time. But when you tell him to move his right arm to do a specific thing, like raise it over your head, he couldn't do it. So I was like, okay. Then I started kind of pulling on that string. Okay, let's go to the next one. Can you step forward? Just kind of a scissor, like, you're walking. Scissor. Show me. So I showed him two points of it. I say, walk like a human. Human is like scissor gait, right? You go this way. And I said, primate gait. It's the same. Like the gorilla, when it stands up, it always walks on one side. He couldn't do them.
Why? What happened?
It's pathology. We call them lesions in the brain. We go brainstem, and then we figure out which part of the brain is dysfunctional. Again, I just met this patient, so I haven't discovered which part yet. But we're gonna get there, and then we can go in and tap in and start to really stimulate just that area and see if we can get it, kind of give it CPR, and bring it back to life. Now, will it? I don't know yet.
Yeah,
we'll find out. But they texted me this morning. They said he was doing much better today with how he was with his homework. I gave him homework.
Yeah.
But again, it's as simple as like, raise your right arm. You know that your right arm is on this side, and you lift it over. You listen to the commands. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about it.
Right.
For him, it's not even possible.
If a part of that ECU is shorted out or something like that, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
That's wild.
As soon as the brain is so amazing, and you can just do these tiny tweaks to the brain, that person no longer functions how people think people function.
Yeah.
They go back to like a complete instinct of survival. Like the fucking movie that came out in 2020 on Netflix. Even though Netflix is full of shit most of the time, they cherry pick certain documentaries and how they want people to feel. So they put one out with the God, I don't know. It was an octopus. The guy that falls in the teacher, or the guy that falls in love with an octopus. I didn't see it,
but I heard good
you should
things.
Watch it.
Yeah.
There's so many like fantastic lessons in that. One talks about cold exposure, right? And humans being in cold and how he adapts to it, and then he ends up craving it, and like he just loves being in the water. He loves that octopus so much. This fool was almost trying to leave his family behind to go get some octopus pussy and shit. He's like ready to go. Wow. He was so passionate about this octopus. He wanted to be with this octopus every single day, all day long.
Because of what the experience he was having
just
with
the amazing non-communication interaction.
Oh, there was communication.
Yeah, non-verbal.
Yeah, on a different telepathic
level.
Fuck, dude, that's some wild shit. That I've been thinking about that a lot. Is that there are these other dimensions even within this one? Because like once you've had a certain amount of sex is boring. Once you've had, and once you've kind of crossed that replication, I've replicated my DNA. If it's just like meaningless sex as a drug, right, or money, or any of these things, then you start. This leads me to like the ketamine. Is that how are there these other dimensions and these other things that we can experience? Like I've thought about this. Like if I could travel intergalactically, but the trade-off is I'd have to leave my family, would I do it?
It's interesting you bring that up. That, again, this is just a story. People, I don't know how many listeners you have or whatever, but this is just a story.
Yeah.
This happened to me in 2018 or something. It was after my son was born. And I took my niece and nephews out to this like beautiful Japanese old school, like old traditional Japanese styled, it's not
Zen garden,
like a place where people go like to like bathing.
Oh yeah.
But it's out in the middle, like mountains in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's freaking gorgeous. They've kind of lost their shit now with COVID, but it's gorgeous there. So I took them out there, and I've always, for the last 30 years, I've been trying to figure out what all these voices and things are going on in my head because like you said, intergalactic and the dimensions, and I'm all about that shit.
Yeah.
Just like you, we're all just trying to experience that. And what does that even mean? If it's real, if it's not, like what is it? And so in 2018, 19, I'm out there and I go into a cold plunge. And the cold plunge is like 38 degrees. So you go into this cold plunge that they have there, and I like to sit there. So I sat there for about 10 minutes. And I usually don't do 10 minutes. That's a little extreme. But I did 10 minutes. And then from there, I went into their sauna. And I put like these towels down in a very specific way so I had no tension in my body. because I was already numb. So I'm sitting there. I feel nothing. I don't even feel the bench that I'm on. I don't even hear the people talking anymore. Like, not talking, but like the sounds that they make. I don't hear anything. And then my mind just starts like, I'm slowly just closing my eyes just because I didn't know how to meditate, and I'm still trying to figure it out, right? So I'm just like closing my eyes. And then I have this crazy experience where I see this light, right? It's more like that color over there, the pyramid, kind of like yellowish, like whatever that color that is. I started seeing like a faint, really small, faint, like pulsing